Okay, we are live and we are with my dear friend and sister in Christ, Marissa. I love her dearly and we've only known each other for several months, but I've appreciated the connection that we've had. She said yes to doing Choose Life Eating, and I actually haven't even heard all the fullness of what has come out of her heart and her journey in it. And so it is a privilege that she would share with me, period, but much less share publicly with everyone else. So I want to just say thank you, Marissa, for doing so.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, do you have kids? Are you married? Are you 18? Because you look 18.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Um, I'm not 18. I am married. I have two boys that I love, and I'm a stay-at-home mom and a gardener. I am a graphic designer and a creative, and yeah, I love being outside, love being in the sun, and summertime is my jam. So
I
it's
love
been
it.
good. Yeah.
So, okay, tell me a little bit where you were with food and eating and before Choose Life Eating.
So before Choose Life Eating, I honestly, I didn't have much self-control when it came to food. If there was a cookie or a brownie in front of me, I was probably going to eat it or at least taste it. If I went to, a cookout or a gathering, I was probably going to have a little bit of everything and then dessert twice, just like, and I just, I knew that I knew how I felt when I ate well, but making myself do it, having the self control to do that was a struggle for me. And I had tried, um, you know, different diets, if you will, or just eating plans. And I always reverted back to, I would do them and then I'd go right back, fall right back into what I was doing before them. So I would say self control was lacking. And honestly, I just, God was not in my eating space at all.
Awesome. So tell me, did you do the roller coaster dieting as far as the lose weight, gain weight with this diet, and then feel like, okay, that's not sustainable. I can't eat that way forever. I'm gonna maybe try this one or try it again after you've gained weight. Was that a part of your storyline with your body and food?
Yes. So I've done some, probably not every single, diet plan under the sun, but I've definitely done all the different cleanses and, you know, paleo, whole 30, different variations of that, um, just different cleanses. And, they all have a time limit. And in my mind, when I started that, in my mind on day 30 or day 15 or day 25, whatever it was, I was going to go right back to eating chocolate chip cookies in large amounts. And I was going to go right
Yeah,
back to eating, just food that I knew didn't serve my body. But it was, I think, honestly, it was a mental thing for
yeah,
me. And so obviously they didn't work because
yeah,
it only lasted 30 days. So,
yeah. I know. I felt like when I memorized all those lists, and I couldn't help but not, right? I know all the things I can have, and I know all the things I can't have. But somehow knowing what I couldn't have, I wanted. I just wanted what I couldn't have. If I
yes, yes, that's exactly how I was. And it was
I feel so deprived. I feel like my body must need that chocolate chip cookies since I can't have it.
it was a struggle. And you see other people eating it and your mouth is just like watering, like, oh, I want that cookie or I want whatever it
Yeah.
is. And you can't wait till day 30 so you can have it.
Right. Exactly. Then I can have exactly.
Yeah.
So what drew you to choose life eating?
So I chose, or I wanted to do Choose Life Eating. Honestly, it was from a conversation that you and I had, and you said that, I think you asked me if I had ever considered inviting God into my eating space. And I was just like, I can invite God into my eating space. And I don't know why I hadn't thought about that before because, um, I invite God into, or I at least try to invite him into every other area of my life. But it just never occurred to me that he would care about my impulsive desires for dessert or, um, extra
Yeah.
French fries or whatever it might be. And, and so I was curious
Yeah.
but I didn't know how to do that at all. I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I don't know. I guess I could Google it, but that probably is not going to get me very far. And then The other reason, honestly, was I love your sweet spirit, and you have such a kind and compassionate demeanor that's not condemning in the food space at all. It's encouraging. And so I just thought, I want to learn from her. Like I need to know what it's about, because I knew there was something.
So tell me a little bit, when I kind of just in our casual conversation asked, have you ever invited God in your food eating space? Did it feel religious? Did it feel harsh? Or did it feel, I mean, I appreciate you saying you were just curious, but on the other side of it, did it feel, I mean, because by no means am I putting a person's salvation connected to this or a lordship connected to this. It really is just an invitation of God more in the person's life. Did you feel that way, or did it feel harsh when going through it?
It did not feel harsh, and I wasn't like weirded out by it at all. Like it was totally just, honestly, I received it in just like a question, like, oh no, I've never even thought about that. But like, I know that, God takes care of the birds, and he cares and desires, he wants them to have food and a sustainable life. And so how much more does he care about me?
Yeah.
And so he cares about what I'm putting into my body. And so no, I didn't take it I didn't think it was like a weird religious thing. I just honestly thought it was more of a, how could I take my relationship deeper, honestly.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like that's what's happened to me also with and God in my food eating space. It has caused more of course, a conversation with him, but it's caused more even like this place of thanksgiving of his provision of things like I can't do. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you. And where before I felt like it was all me, like, what am I doing for dinner? What am I doing? What am I, instead of saying, okay, God, what is, we, what can we have that everybody will like, that's really good for our bodies? There's something about the bringing him in, and I'm just wowed by the intimacy in that space and his creativity in that space and his provision in that space, where before it was just especially off the diet, it's a checkbox. I had this at 12 and I'm going to have this at 2:30, and it wasn't this place of him coming in. Okay, so I share in Choose Life Eating that a shift occurs for people. Did you feel like you experienced a shift in your body, in your soul, and living spirit led?
Yes, I do. I feel like the thing that helped me perpetuate that shift was, honestly, it seems simple, but just like, am I choosing life in this moment? If you think about the whole day or the whole week, and oh, what can I, do the whole week to choose life? Like, that's going to be too much. That's too much to bite off, and it'll be overwhelming.
Yeah.
But in this moment, kind of like you encourage us to just rest, like approach God around food in a place of rest with your hands open.
Yeah.
It makes it doable, and it makes it not overwhelming. And I think that's where the shift occurred for me, was taking it just moment by moment, meal by meal. Am I going to serve my body well if I choose to eat this? Am I choosing life right now? And then also not condemning myself and not making myself feel so bad and wanting to punish myself if I do, eat something that's not necessarily healthy for me.
Yeah.
But to just take it the next step and, moment by moment, just choose life the next time. I think that's where the shift occurred for me. And I would say it was about like halfway through the 40 days that I felt like I really could grab hold of it and didn't necessarily desire anything that I shouldn't have. I think that also helped me, was like, you're not telling us what not to eat or what to eat even. It's just making a choice, and like we know what's best for our bodies. We can feel that, honestly. And I think the more that you choose life, the more that you want the life, you know what I'm saying? And
I would say that for me, I agree with you. Like, something about, okay, this is on me. Like, my body is for me to be responsible and steward and govern, where there's something about the diets. Like, I made it about the diets. It's like, they're telling me I can't have this and can't have this. And so when I'm having cookie as my fuel or when I'm having the cucumbers as my fuel, it's really me owning, all right, I'm having high performance octane fuel or low performance octane. Like I'm owning that choice and owning the freedom in it. And I'm also owning the consequences. Okay, I feel a little dip afterwards. Like
Yeah.
I'm owning it instead of like blaming. I can't have this, and if only could have that. And so I 100% agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say this, like, I think that you were like really easy with the whole choose life eating because you, the fabulous gardener that you are, and I want to just highlight everybody, please follow Marisa because she highlights and shines her garden almost daily on her Facebook page, and you can become a better gardener just through her teaching and equipping you. But you kind of have that rhythm, like because the gardener that you are, like every day you're planting good seeds,
Mm-hmm.
you're watering, you're growing. You're not performing plant. Wait, you've only produced one sunflower or two tomatoes. Like you're really like you have the flow to yourself or like to your garden in the same way I want people to have to themselves when they go through this process, the choose life eating journey. It's gentle, it's kind, we're being thankful to our hips and knees and back for staying in function even with carrying extra weight. We're not going to be critical and harsh. We're going to make the decisions to drop that weight, but we're not going to be critical and condemning. We're going to be in a place of like thanksgiving and maybe even apologize for where we have like been unkind to ourselves. And so, but you really have that naturally about your just your style and flow and relating to things. And so I feel like it was easy for you. Do you feel that way?
Thank you for your kind words. The garden produces patience in you. Yeah. Planting seeds produces patience, and you wait. You spend a lot of time waiting, and so I think once you practice that, and you can see that not most all things that are good are going to take time, and you do just like a plant doesn't rush itself. It's patient with itself, and there's steps that you have to go through in order to get to the tomato, the red tomato or the beautiful bloom. And I think it's the same with our bodies. We can't change something overnight. And while we may not, like what we're doing, or we may not like how we feel, or we're trying to detox all the bad out or whatever it might be, we have to be patient with ourselves. I always have to remind myself, I didn't get to, wherever overnight. I'm not going to get back overnight. And so I think it goes back to that place of rest, of just being patient and kind to yourself, and just taking it day by day.
Well, I do love, seeing you living from a place of rest, making the choose life choices in the moment, and seeing the fruitfulness of that, whether it happened the next day or in your patience days later. Another big aspect of choose life eating is this place of intimacy, not only living from a place of rest, making the choose life choices needed, but that place of intimacy with God, with Him. Did you experience that, or do you mind sharing a little bit about what happened in your relationship with Him?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun. It's if you can view it as a fun thing to choose a area to grow closer to God in, because it was not necessarily an area that I had tapped into yet when talking to God. And Lord, help me choose life today. Help me choose life at this barbecue where there's a beautiful spread of food. I feel like I don't have the self-control in me to say no to all these things that I know are going to make me feel so bad. And so help me. And I know that if anyone, not just me, but anyone asks God for that help, He will help you. And so I think just seeing that there's God cares about what I'm eating, and it might seem a little bit silly at first, but it's not silly. It's my body that God created, and He wants me to feel good. He wants me to choose good things, and He will help me whenever I can't do it on my own, which is
And I
almost
agree with
daily.
you. And I will say it is not silly and meaningless. And I will say when a person gets really good about asking the Lord and pulling from his strength and the dependence on him, of that partnership, that oneness, and that intimacy, that connectivity, when they get in the food eating space, which has been, maybe slighted and diminished, I think they really get really good about even doing that in the conversation with the spouse or the parenting in the moment, or like, Lord, help me, you know, come, maybe make the choose life choice from a place of rest, from a place of
Yes.
intimacy with your kindness and gentleness, instead of how I feel about this moment or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I think it's the pausing before you do something, the
Yeah.
pausing before you grab whatever it is out of the pantry. And,
Yeah.
maybe, Lord, help me to be creative in this moment to have I don't see one thing that I can pull out of the pantry or the fridge to eat, but help me to be creative to put things together that are going to be good. I think once you practice doing that, you're going to practice pausing before you respond
Yes.
or react, and it's going to carry over into other areas of your life. But just the waiting on him
100%.
to lead you instead of just going full force by yourself.
Yes. So tell me, do you feel like this has, I tell people this is these 40 days is like a training and equipping of how to eat, how to approach food differently in a way that they haven't experienced before, but they can carry it with them for 40 years, for decades.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like it's done that for you? Like, this is a sustainable way of eating. I know how to do the spirit, soul, body concept Kristen talked about now.
Yes, I think it's not. It's sustainable because it's not what you can or cannot have. It's just a mindset and an approach to the way that you view food, hold food, put food in your mouth. And so I think that's why it's going to be sustainable for me, is
Yeah.
because it's not holding me back or forcing me to do anything that I dread or
Yes.
anything like that. It comes from a place of rest, and it has a source that's more powerful than I am. The Lord is is the source of it, and so I do think that it's very sustainable. In fact, I made chocolate chip cookies this past weekend for my father-in-law for Father's Day,
Yeah.
and I didn't desire to have one,
Yeah.
which was great. And it wasn't because I was
Yeah.
looking down my nose, oh, these are full of sugar. It was just that I
Yeah.
know that won't serve my body, and so I'm going to choose not to have it. And
Yeah.
it wasn't an issue. It was just,
And there's
I'm,
something, and with the backwardsness of it, is something about the freedom that you can have it,
mm-hmm.
that then is really actually empowering to cause you to choose life.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah. Yes. So, and then which is scripture. In your freedom, do not use your freedom to gratify, the whims of that soul, of that sinful parts of us. And so, yeah, the greed of the more of the, but if you had that also, there was no condemnation. The enemy doesn't have a grip either of you're not beating yourself up. It's just this is my choice, and
Yes.
it's good either way.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
so people know how to navigate what their choice is. I agree. It's beautiful.
It takes you to a place of peace.
Yeah.
In your choices.
100%. Okay. So, is there anything, a lot of people are considering choose life eating, and they don't know, is there anything that you'd want to share with them that you wish that you would have known beforehand, that could encourage them to all right, do this 40-day journey of navigating with food and eating differently. It will affect you for the rest of your life. What would you say to that person?
I would say, honestly, go for it. Just do it. It's not restrictive. It's not like any other diet that you've ever tried before, because I know we've all tried the diets. It's not like that. It's different, and it's different because God is involved. And when God is involved, really powerful things can happen. And so I would say, if you're on the fence, hop off the fence and go through Choose Life Eating. You're going to absolutely love the videos that Kristen sends out daily. And it's just, it's something that I always looked forward to in the morning, was seeing those. And it will change your life because it will change your mindset and your perspective on food.
Yeah. Well, Marisa, I just want to thank you again. And I really did see you just like truly live as an overcomer in this process. Of course, this is most people that do 6 weeks, 40 days. They're not just focusing on Choose Life Eating. They have job and kids and husband and family, so much other going on. And I saw that in you, and I have so much respect for you because I really did see just a strong connection of you responding to the Lord, and you're putting pause on things and saying wonderfully no to things and pushing forward in some things and doing things different. Like, I really saw that in such a just a gentle way, and I really like it is so congruent with the Choose Life Eating mindset and approach to life in all areas. But I want to say I enjoyed journeying through this with you because of what I learned from you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. It's we all do have a lot to juggle and a lot to consider in our daily life. But I think I've never regret putting God first in any area, and now inviting Him into the food space is just one more area for me to win. So,
Amen.
Thank you so much for leading me through this and helping me along the way.
Absolutely, it was my pleasure. All right, much love to you. And for anybody who sees this, if you are interested in Choose Life Eating, please direct message me. I have a waiting list. I do it boot camp style, so you can't just start right away, but you can message me and I can let you know when the next few will be. And I would love to link arms with you, help you live as an overcomer in the food eating space, help you live spirit-led, help break hold of the food, or the break free from the hold that food may have had on you, and really live a life of just life, freedom, and abundance in this space. So message me and to get started on your Choose Life Eating 40-day journey.